The hobby is getting more people entered daily, though price fluctuations have made collectors turn their heads as no one can expect what's coming next. In fact, we've just seen a pretty significant drop for some major chase cards, and I think there's a lot of discussion about Pokemon cards in general right now. Though before I get into this video, I do have some exciting news, as I'll be going live on Whatnot on 25th of November, 6 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be giving away a bunch of Pokemon 151 and Journey Together booster packs, plus selling some singles and packs, and I'll speak more about that stream later on in this video. Though, I think when these hype swings come around, people begin getting a bit worried because everyone's happy, when it's in the euphoria stage. People are happy when they purchase, a Pokemon card and their collectibles are rising in price. But, people do feel really uncomfortable when prices dip, and you do see people start selling. Personally, my favorite moments are when prices start dipping, kind of like what's happening right now, because I personally think this helps wash away some of the gunk, that's been built up in the hobby. 2025 has been, a year of resellers, flippers, supposed sneakerheads transitioning over into Pokemon cards. There's been Hypebeast. It's had people who've never even played Pokemon games or, know much about Pokemon start buying products. But the prices of cards now are becoming a major topic because they are dropping. And not only dropping, but it's making people second guess their expensive purchases. I mean, check this out. All right, as I was saying, prices are moving. Paldean Fates Elite Trainer Box right here in that 3-month graph there, you can just see it's gone up, stayed a little bit sideways and gone down. Paldean Fates, it's a good set. And of course, there's been so much hype building from this set because of the Bubble Mew. But in terms of, Pokemon cards right now, when we're seeing sealed product drop, that's really, really interesting territory, okay? That's new territory. That's territory that a lot of people, that were collecting Pokemon or, investing in collectibles throughout 2024 and 2025 have not seen before. Even beforehand, it's very rare to get massive kind of drawbacks, on these sealed products without, significant reprints. Reprints are usually the thing that makes sealed product, tumble down. This is all new territory for everyone. So if I pull this into the year graph with Paldean Fates, there you go. You can see the price, kind of growth of this has been wild, man. Was selling for 65 US around this time last year and, just been climbing up. Look at that. Found a market high of $300 for an elite trainer box. Dude, that is wild, man. Man, I just cannot believe when I see that. I mean, this is not a Pokemon Center exclusive, right? I'm talking just a standard elite trainer box right here. And of course, now it's kind of dropped to $228. To be honest, okay, and when we're really talking about Paldean Fates in general, and we're talking about Pokemon cards in general, they've, been climbing, just ridiculously for so long. I mean, at some point, something has to give, right? I mean, it just cannot continue climbing like this. A lot of cards right now are going down. And, the question is this kind of a bubble bursting, or is this a correction, or is this people leaving the hobby, or is this thing of like everyone was just thinking, hey, 2025, hey, Pokemon cards just climb endlessly in price. I do think, like I said, there's going to be a lot of kind of people who are getting pruned out of the hobby right now. We are entering a new season, and I feel this new season is making a lot of people leave and say, whoa, maybe I've spent a bit too much. Especially new people who've entered, they're going to actually learn a lot of these lessons. I mean, same thing with the Bubble Mew. Look at that, man. That's really come down. Selling for $702 in September. Right now selling for $550. Wow, that is, $150 off your high point. It's definitely coming down. Now, yes, Bubble Mew has had massive price growth. I'll pull that into the year just so you can see. I mean, look at that. It's climbed so much. And, when we highlight that section of the graph, you can really see it doesn't even look like it's come down anything from the gains it's made. But, in terms of how much it's been climbing and how much Pokemon cards have been behaving and their performance, we've just entered a weird time. I mean, I've never really been in an era where, Pokemon cards just start climbing so much and so resilient throughout 2025. They've just been such a strong purchase. And this is the thing. This is why people have bought Pokemon cards, because it's like, wow, like not many people have actually had any reason not to buy new sealed product. And I think that has been a big learning lesson for this year, because people, if you bought, anything for retail price, any sealed product, whether it be Prismatic Evolutions, Journey Together, Destined Rivals, Black Bolt, White Flare, or any of the, anything in this year, if you bought it at retail price, you pretty much made profit. And that has not been good for the hobby because people are just too confident. Now, interestingly, the 151 Elite Trainer box, look at that right there. Huge stagnation. No dips really, or there has been a little bit right there at the end, but it's really paused, for quite a long time, right? So I'm gonna pull this into 6 months so you can actually get a better overview of what happened. Pokemon 151 was selling for $232 for one Elite Trainer box. Went all the way up around the high here. You can see the high was $410. Right now, Pokemon 151 ETB is selling for $382. Very interesting that Pokemon 151 has had a little dip because, so many people have just been into this set. But, I do think it is telling. I think it is very telling when we're seeing these little price drops, especially with sealed product, because, that really hasn't happened before. I mean, Pokemon 151 hasn't even really dropped at all. But in terms of when you look at Paldean Fates, that definitely has. Now, as I spoke about earlier in this video, I am going live on Whatnot on 25th of November, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be giving away packs of Pokemon 151 and Journey together. Now, today's video is sponsored by Whatnot. Now, Whatnot is a fast-growing live shopping platform where users can purchase products all in real time, along with chilling with their favorite creators. It's a very social platform, and if you've never tried Whatnot, I feel like my stream is a really chill and super easy way to try it out. In the stream, I'll be giving away packs of Pokemon 151 plus Journey together, along with selling packs and singles all starting at $1. In the last stream, one of the giveaway winners pulled Hop Zacian Special Illustration Rare, and hopefully we can pull some more SIRs in the upcoming stream. Now, the best part is that all new users get a $15 credit when signing up using my link. Head to the link on screen, or you can just scan the QR code appearing right now. A huge thanks to Whatnot for supporting the channel. Now let's get back into this video. Now, the Charizard from 151 is interesting. Selling for 307 US, right now selling for 242. I really think that this Charizard was a good artwork, but the thing with Charizard artworks, okay, and I've noticed a bit of a consistent pattern with them, okay, is when Charizard or new special illustration rares or, new Charizard cards come, everyone kind of really hypes them. But in saying that, okay, when Charizard V's alternate art from Brilliant Stars came out, a lot of people said, hey, that's the best Charizard artwork we've ever seen. And then, when we got the Pokemon 151 special illustration rare, a lot of people were saying, hey, this SIR is crazy cool, man. Like, this is the best Charizard we've seen. A lot of people loved it, that it was flying over a canyon. That was kind of new, where you see Charizard in a new environment. A lot of people like that as well. And, now with this Mega Charizard X, the thing is, Pokemon keeps leveling up with their artworks. And, maybe there's going to be a new Charizard card, whether it be in a year from now or whether it be 2 years from now, and maybe it's going to outdo the Mega Charizard X. That could happen. And when that happens, a lot of people go back and they go, wow, man, it was so good, man. It was so awesome. So there's just a little bit of a pattern with Charizard cards. Maybe it is interesting to see this one dipping at the moment. But then again, we've had a lot of Pokemon 151 come on the market. Now, Mega Evolution era, or the Mega Evolution base set booster box, that has had some, the cards in there have had some serious drops. Now, this has been a big learning lesson for people coming into the hobby because, they saw Destined Rivals, a lot of those cards were climbing, when it released. And this kind of seems more reminiscent of how Pokemon cards usually behave, or releases usually happen. This is giving me 2024 Surging Sparks energy, what's happening right here. But when we're looking around here, what's selling for $297, the Mega Gardevoir? Though, of course, it has dropped right now to $222. Now, I do imagine, okay, just a bit of intuition, with all the new sets, we're getting Ascended Heroes coming out. There's going to be a lot of new sets coming out. The artworks are going to get better and better. When people kind of see this, they might hype it up a lot. But, I do feel that these Mega Evolution cards will come down further and further within 2026, especially as I will show you in a second, Mega Evolution booster boxes are coming down in price. Same thing with the Mega Lucario, okay? Was selling here $273, went all the way up to $304, right now selling for $213. So, pull rates for these are pretty difficult too. They're not easy cards to pull. So it's not like that these are like some easy, anyone can pull these cards. They're actually quite challenging. So very interesting to see that the price dips are happening for these cards. Now, the enhanced booster box, just check that out. That is a very steep decline. Was selling, found a high point for around $320. and right now selling for $250. Now, that is still very expensive for a brand new booster box, but maybe it will continue to drop in price. Who knows right now? I mean, this is the thing. There's so many avenues that people are kind of expecting, and maybe people expected more about the Mega Evolution era. Maybe everyone was on like, oh, Distant Rivals, oh, Black Bolt, White Flare. Oh man, I cannot wait for the new set. Mega Evolution came out. There was a lot of hype. People saw the new Mega Evolutions. Personally, like, I think a lot of people are disappointed with some of the new Mega Evolution designs. You got a lot of people that love them. A lot of people think that they're a little bit too like comical, kind of like, Anyway, but in saying that, like, I think maybe that is playing out. I mean, before we all saw the new Mega Evolutions, maybe there was more hype for this era. Maybe now people are just like, oh, weird direction that you've taken. Now, the gold Lucario, this one is definitely one that's dropping, but the reason why this one is a little bit weird, it has had a pretty big price rise as well, but the reason why this one's strange is it's really hard to pull, right? Like, so sometimes pull rates aren't everything as well, and it's much more about the demand of a card, okay? It was selling for $672, right now selling for $473, so definitely a big drop on this card. Some pretty serious percentage decreases happening on these, mega hyper rare cards, whether or not people like them. I think initially people loved them. Now, we've got the Mega Charizard X one as well. We've got the Mega Gardevoir, which I'll show you in a second. I think people are just like, are they that good? I don't know. Like, are they really as great as, people hype them out to be? Maybe, maybe not. And the Mega Gardevoir also has gone through a bit of a journey. Selling for $584, went down to $416, went all the way up to $614, and now found a low point for $367, which, considering how difficult they are to pull, yeah, it's pretty wild to see, that they are dropping. I mean, $367 is still crazy expensive for one card. But in terms of the pull rates, and, when we look at something like these are like I think it's 1 in 1,260 packs, okay? So to pull one of these is super hard. And, even that, $367, it's kind of weird because if you tried to pull this card and if you were trying to chase it, wow, that would be a really, really silly decision because you would be spending so much more then, the chance to pull this is very difficult. But of course, I think people are just finding out if they like these new cards or not. These gold hyper rares are interesting. I think we've entered the most challenging pull rates for Pokemon cards ever. But then again, I think people are just like, collectors are definitely finding if they like these or not. My decision on these is I think I don't really rate them that much, to be honest. I feel like they're just too rare in my liking. I think the pull rates are just that touch too much. 1 in 1,200 packs is really difficult. It's really challenging, especially for people who want master sets. They've made them quite rare. And for that reason, I would like a bit of a lower kind of rarity that still has the same kind of vibe as these. Now, I think prices are becoming interesting, but also there's levels of what's to come next. And I think predicting the future for Pokemon cards is kind of an important discussion right now. And if you ever wondered what the future for Pokemon cards is, I actually explain that in detail in this video on screen here. Within this video on screen, I go deep into the future of Pokemon cards and collectibles and explain what trends and topics I think are going to be happening within 2026 and beyond. If you enjoyed this video, definitely feel free to click on the video on screen and I'll see you there.